What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Nick. I'm your host. Today we are going to be checking out some Lee Harvey Oswald locations around the Dallas metro area. We're going to go to the old municipal building where Oswald was held after the assassination of JFK, interrogated for 2 days, where he was shot in the gut by Jack Ruby. Then we're going to go take a ride to the old Parkland Hospital, where not only JFK was rushed to and died, but also where Oswald died. And then we're going to come here, where I'm at right now, Shannon Rose Hill Memorial Cemetery in Fort Worth, to see where the one and only Lee Harvey Oswald is buried. Before we get started, do me a favor, tap that like button. It helps more than you know. Unless all your fingers, your phalanges are broken and you can't tap it, well, then you can. But if not, it's very easy. Click. Now let's begin the video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to downtown Dallas. Basically, I don't know, maybe 5-6 blocks that way is where the assassination happened. Now, where we are right now, UNT Dallas Law Center. This is the old municipal building that Lee Harvey Oswald was taken to the day of the assassination, November 22nd, 1963. It's where he would also be shot by Jack Ruby. Yep, so like I said, you could still see municipal building at the top, but now it's basically a school of law. The day of the shooting, Oswald was captured at the Texas Theater. I've been to that location before. Once he was captured, he was brought here. He was basically interrogated for 2 days. Can you imagine that, 2 whole days of just guys railing on you? Obviously, he denied assassinating Kennedy and shooting Officer J.D. Tippit. And then we're going to go around, I believe it's that side, to see where the garage was, where Jack Ruby kind of got in. But we'll talk about all that coming up. So yeah, Oswald was being interrogated for about 2 days. I can't imagine. And what's crazy is this building, they made it into a museum, which is, it's mind-blowing that it's not open to the public. If you have seen, maybe you haven't, maybe it's your first time here. If it's your first time here on this channel, thanks for stopping by. But if you've seen my Retracing Oswald's Steps video, I talked about how this place basically turned the Oswald section into a museum. And it's so crazy. And like I said, I'll throw in photos so you could see, but it's not open to the public. Now, what I did do, I actually, a couple months ago, I reached out and contacted them. And I said, hey, is there any way that I could tour this building? The Oswald Museum. And they said, unfortunately, no, it's not open to the public, yada, yada, yada. So then I said, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I don't even mind paying. Can I come and tour this? And she said, nope, still unfortunately not open to the public, and that's how it is. But so I don't know why. I'm still mad at them. I understand it's a school and they just can't if there's school stuff, there's like laws and this, about people coming in schools or whatever. I don't, how that is, but it's mind-blowing to me. There's so many, why set up an entire museum and you can't show anything? Now, the last time I was here filming my Retracing Oswald Steps video, I was on this side and I said, I'm not sure if it was this side or that side that it happened, but a few commentators, thank you for the help, said it's on that side that Jack Ruby went in the basement and got his way in. So we're going to go over that way and discuss. But what I want to show you now is just basically the photos and kind of go through basically what it looks like today. Now check this out. These are actual photos from inside the museum I got off Google, but they have it all set up for you. And like this right here is leading up to Oswald's cell. This is Oswald's cell where he spent his final night alive, actually the last 2 nights alive, right here that you could go and see. This is where that photo was taken straight ahead. It was against that white wall. They have it behind glass, but still there. You can't see this location really, but this is the spot where he gave the press conference saying he did not kill Kennedy or Officer J.D. Tippit. They even have a little video room. And then right here, this is this exact spot where Ruby came up and shot Oswald. And it's all right there, but it's not open to the public. Like, why not? Well, we made our way to this side. I'm standing across the street. But basically right there from what commentators have said on my previous video was this side. That basement, garage window where that truck is parked. That is where, I think previously too, I said Jack Ruby snuck in. A few people said he didn't sneak in. He basically just walked in. There we go. Now I found some parking. But yeah, it still says municipal building on this side too. But what I was saying is, I said in the previous video, Jack Ruby snuck in. What I actually meant was he didn't really sneak in. He knew the cops, and he basically wasn't supposed to be there, is what I meant by snuck in. But he moseyed his way in. Hey Jack, how you doing? And then he did what nobody expected. Pulled out his gun and shot Oswald in the gut, which happened literally right basically in there. And as you could see by the photos I just shared, it still basically looks the same today. All right, now ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get in the car and we're going to drive to Parkland Hospital where Oswald was taken to. I also want to drive down Elm Street and kind of show you, even though I know this is an Oswald video, not necessarily a JFK video, but basically show you the route the motorcade would have took. So let's get to it. We're going to be coming straight down though. Okay, so here we go. So right there, oh, we get a stop sign. Check this out. Wow, they're doing construction. Wow. Okay, so allegedly, I'll still say again, allegedly Oswald was, I'll zoom in for you, out that window, had his gun pointed out that window, and JFK's motorcade would have come down the street where these people were walking, and we're going to drive over the same exact X's where the shots fired. And then actually what I'm doing next is I'm going to Parkland Hospital. So basically hopped on Stemmons Freeway and driving the same way. So anyway, it's like this. And then here, shot number 1, 2. And then fatal shot to the head right here. And there's always people here getting photos. And then the motorcade actually, vroom, went this way, flying, and then they got on the freeway right here, just as I am. And basically it still kind of looked the same back then. I couldn't imagine, like, can you imagine Jackie Kennedy in the back? Not only is she in shock, her husband's head is blown off, and now the Secret Service is flying down the highway. And I should probably stop recording because nobody wants to die. All right, see you at the hospital. Okay, well, this is the location of the old Parkland Hospital. So they tore it down. I'm so mad at myself that I didn't get here sooner, but they tore it down literally last year, 2024. This is where it used to be. Now it's the location to Children's Hospital. But I'm going to find, I think I know where the street is. I've finally found it. I'm going to find the location, I think it's on this street, that the motorcade would have went up. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Oh. Let's see if we can get down this street. I don't know. I don't even know what it looks like since it's been demoed. Oh, I wonder if it's something is still here. Right over here. Holy cow, the whole thing's gone. Oh my God, though, I think it's still here. Wow, we made it. Oh my gosh. So you guys are gonna think this is, I'm gonna do the best I can under the current circumstances. But I found on Google Maps basically what it looks like before while it was being demoed. And this was all blocked off. And it would have been literally right here. Gosh. So not only the motorcade with JFK's body, but also 2 days later, Lee Harvey Oswald's body came up this way. And right here would have been where the motorcade parked, where Oswald arrived, and then basically, from what I can tell, where the grass is, well, that's obviously the new children's hospital. But basically in this direction, and you'll see what I mean when I throw in the maps. And then, how many photos have we seen of when JFK's body arrived at Parkland Hospital that were all taken right in front of me? Actually, this part, wow, looks like it's still pieces of Parkland Hospital right here. Because look, it's like it ends and it's demoed. That's crazy. But yeah, the back of Parkland would have been literally right here. That is nuts.
Definitely the president's car. We could see the first lady's paint suit. That's the only identification we could see, but we know it is the president's car. Another car directly behind the presidential car. There were also bodies in that car. Another Secret Service man spread eagle over them. We don't know. Perhaps there was some hid in that car as well. We're not sure. And just now we've received reports here at Parkland that Governor Connolly was shot in the upper left chest, and the first unconfirmed reports say the president was hit in the head. That's an unconfirmed report that the president was hit in the head. The president's wife, Jackie Kennedy, was not hurt. She walked into the hospital at her husband's stretcher side. And a Dallas newsman, Mel Couch, said he was riding shortly behind the president in the parade. He said after the shots were fired, he happened to look up at about the 5th or 6th floor of the Texas Book Depository. He said he saw the rifle being pulled back in. President Kennedy has been given a blood transfusion at Parkland Hospital here in Dallas in an effort to save his life after he and Governor John Connolly of Texas were shot in an assassination attempt in downtown Dallas. A priest has been ordered, emergency supplies of blood also being rushed to the hospital. Just a moment. We have a bulletin coming in. We now switch you directly to Parkland Hospital and KBOX News Director Bill Hampton.
The President of the United States is dead.
Now let's check out Google Maps. So this is from about a year ago, 2024. As you can see, we're still at the same place. We went up this way, up this road, and you could see Parkland Hospital still there. And this is what it looked like basically a year ago. This is the construction site. And once again, I'm so mad I did not go here. But yeah, this is Parkland, and straight ahead, I found this is the spot right here. I think I zoom in a little bit too. But these, yep, right there. The door straight ahead, that is where JFK and Oswald's bodies were taken into Parkland Hospital. The motorcade and all the police cars would have been parked literally right here. Wow, and what a difference it looks like about a year later. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Parkland Hospital is no more. There's these, you could see they're still tearing it down too, but it's a shame they didn't keep this part just because it's from, American history, but right there. I'm so mad at myself. For years, I've been doing like these JFK Oswald videos anytime to see where the entrance to the hospital was, but I didn't. And it just makes me mad at myself for doing this. They literally demoed it last year in 2024. Gosh. But if you ever seen the movie Parkland, Zac Efron is in it. The other actor I like, I can never remember his name, he's in it. But it's such a great movie, and it discusses basically, the beginning of the film starts basically when JFK is assassinated, and the whole movie takes place at Parkland, kind of what happened and what went down. So if you haven't seen it, check it out, it's pretty cool. Now, fun fact, not that it's really a fun fact, but fun fact regardless, JFK's body was taken to Trauma Room 1, and it supposedly was, like, as you can imagine, a famous trauma room that was, like, never used again after. There's crazy stories about that. And I originally thought Oswald's body was basically taken to the same thing, because almost like the same thing happened, but it did not. Oswald's body was taken to the operating room, and he died in the operating room. Oh, it still says Parkland up there. Wow. So, just for clarification, Oswald did not die in the same room as JFK. He was in the operating room. That was once Parkland Hospital right here, and now it's the Children's Hospital.
Those who wish to make the trip to Parkland Hospital find a floral circlet marking that space which the hospital chillingly calls Trauma Room Number 1. It was here that the stricken president was rushed, and here that he was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. that day, despite the best efforts of the best physicians. There were 8 of them who served before the ordeal was over. They have not labored there since then without the vivid memories crowding in on them. Trauma Room Number 1 was not used today. The hospital administration ordered that, in deference to what happened a year ago, the room remain empty, except for some extreme emergency. Medically, Mr. Kennedy was dead when brought in, but the battle under the white light went on for most of half an hour, when he became the 4th American president to succumb to an assassin's wounds.
All right, something interesting to tell, and then we'll head over to Oswald's gravesite in Fort Worth. So check this out when you have a chance. It's a very interesting read, but I saw in other comments that my past videos, one guy talked about the Trauma Room 1 that I was just talking about here. Apparently, that room, I don't know what exactly they did, but they took like a lot of the medical equipment, pieces of the ceiling, floor, walls. I don't know how they did it, but they basically took that room, and it still exists today. They did not want it destroyed and demoed with the rest of the building, but it's apparently somewhere in a secret location in the state of Kansas, never to be disclosed to the public. So it's a pretty interesting story. I don't know a ton about it. That's basically the summary of what I've got, but that Trauma Room 1 still exists. All right, let's head to the final part of this video. We're gonna head 30 minutes into Fort Worth to see the gravesite of Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to our final location in this video, Shannon Rose Memorial Cemetery. His grave, this is the 3rd time I'm here. There's usually people here almost every time, believe it or not. I don't see anybody here yet, but I won't be surprised if I'm filming and people show up. But if we head up this way, we should be able to find them pretty easy. And let's begin. Steps. Oh, don't want to trip. This is a pretty big cemetery. I've never actually explored it because I don't really have any reason to besides finding Oswald. Now, where is he? His headstone's one of this color, but oh, maybe he's over this way. Yep, found him. See, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all, ladies and gentlemen. The gravesite of Lee Harvey Oswald and Nick Beef. No, that's not my grave. My last name is not Beef. Apologize for my shadow. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, here we are again. So let's see. We started at the old municipal building where he was interrogated for 2 days, shot by Jack Ruby. Then we made our way to Parkland Hospital, the old Parkland Hospital, where his body would have been taken in. Once again, he died in the operating room at 1:07 p.m., 2 days after JFK, November 24th, 1963. And here he is laid to rest 6 feet below us, next to the one and only Nick Beef. And I've explained this in other videos if you haven't seen, but Well, if you haven't seen, Nick Beef is not a real person. Long story short, from what I've gathered, there's a comedian out there who basically bought this plot. I always find it interesting that, like, this person is laid here, so this person's body must be facing this way. But supposedly this comedian bought this plot and basically put a fake name. There's no one named Nick Beef as far as we know. He put that there to kind of be connected to the JFK assassination ordeal, but also because of the fact, and I've never done it because thankfully Google, it's usually easy to find this, but supposedly if you head to the front desk and say, can you tell me where Lee Harvey Oswald's buried, they supposedly say, no, can't do that for obvious reasons. So the comedian wanted this as a marker, and the thing is, if you ask for Nick Beef, they'll tell you where he is. It's kind of like a code word, but like I said, if you type in Google Maps now, today, it keeps changing. The last time I was here, it was like erased, and then somebody put it back. Now it says Oswald Grave. So I typed in Oswald Grave, and it takes you right here. But yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. And it just says Oswald. Now there's a little bit of a story that goes along with Oswald's headstone. That is not the original. From what I've read, I may get some of this wrong, so I'm just going off memory now. And it was a while ago I read it, but from what I have researched, the original headstone was here for a while. Then it was stolen. And while it was hidden somewhere away, stolen, I think it was actually stolen by like 2 teenagers in Oklahoma, something like that. But while it was missing, his mother, Lee Harvey Oswald's mother, purchased this headstone and just kept it. I'll throw a photo in right now of the original headstone, but just kept it simple. It just says Oswald. And she had this placed here. And then years later, the headstone was found somewhere along the lines. But I don't know. I think it was actually auctioned off. But anyway, this is the headstone today. Next to Nick Beef. Crazy to think about too, with all the JFK files that were released this past week, that he basically, I mean, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but basically the summary was he was involved. I still don't know if there was others involved with him, but the summary was basically he was involved. And if you don't know, I asked some people this past week, oh, did you hear the JFK files were released? No idea. I was like thinking, oh, I thought it was everywhere. Everybody knew. But from what I understand, it was basically the CIA had tabs on Oswald for a while. They knew what he was up to. They knew he was capable of doing something like assassinating the president, and they did nothing about it. So from the files that were released, it makes it sound they basically cover their own asses. You know, they didn't want them released because they didn't want to be at fault, but it made it sound like Oswald was definitely involved. I don't know. You let me know in the comments what you think. Nick Beef will definitely appreciate it. While I'm standing here, I'm thinking about the movie Parkland that I mentioned earlier in the video. But at the very end, they show the funeral service of Lee Harvey Oswald. Obviously, it was not filmed here, but it looks very similar. It kind of has like this tree. In the movie, it has like a tree like this next to his grave, and he's right there straight ahead. But yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad. I mean, I think his mother was kind of out there, but they showcase his brother a lot in the film, and it makes it very sad. And you know, he basically told his brother Lee that you ruined the Oswald name, and your kids are gonna grow up with a totally different life now. Like, what'd you do? So it's very sad. But anyway, once upon a time, he was laid to rest right here. Well, y'all, it's gonna wrap it up for this video. Once again, if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up. And I will have right now coming up my JFK and Oswald playlist on YouTube. If you want to go back and watch some of them, actually the retracing Oswald steps, that's a popular video. I came here at the end, hence my third time here, but we retrace a lot of the steps that happened that day. So if you're interested, go check it out. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all in the next video.